Last week focused on emotional stabilization, discernment, and strengthening the foundation beneath July's larger energetic journey of growth. This week, however, is opening the road again. We are still in Cancer season, so emotional truths will remain central. The difference between last week and this week's astrological climate is that I feel we're about to begin connecting personal clarity with broader themes of movement, change, and long term possibility. I think this week's theme is authentic expression and how it begins moving from inner participation and preparation to outwards participation and expression. Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Mariana, and this is Oness Astrology, where I offer my own unique intuitive perspectives on kind of a collective astrological climate. And no, you won't find horoscopes or personality here. It's more about the energy and the opportunities available when we orient ourselves accordingly. Now, this is your weekly astrology forecast for July 13th through the 19th of 2026. And yes, I am calling this one When the Road Begins to Open. How exciting is that? Now, starting off on Monday, July 13th, we will see Venus, who's newly in Virgo, squaring Uranus, who's also pretty new in Gemini. This is really kind of starting the week off with some disruption potentially or adjustments, specifically in regards to relationships, creative projects, maybe plans, or anything that involves our values. Venus in Virgo is wanting care, usefulness, precision, and thoughtful refinement, while Uranus in Gemini is really bringing surprise, new information, changed perspectives, and unexpected conversations. So, this square could be revealing where something has become too rigid. It may cause our plans to actually shift. A relationship dynamic could start to need some more flexibility. A creative idea could require a bit of a different approach. And within the larger story of July, I think this transit is helping to loosen up some old expectations before the Cancer new moon gives us a chance to make some fresh um, intentions and start anew again. So, coming in on Monday, I think the question is, can we stay grounded without clinging to the exact form that maybe we've been expecting, right? Now, Tuesday on July 14th, we do have that new moon in Cancer. And so everything that's been building up since the beginning of July basically is coming to a head to help inform us about the commitments and actions we want to take as we move forward into this next lunar cycle. This is really kind of the emotional reset point of the week, but even maybe potentially, well, the first half of the month, right? We've got Leo season coming up. So there's a lot of action yet to be had in July, but it's certainly a reset point after these early energies of kind of more foundational and reflective types of vibes. And this specific lunar cycle being initiated by Cancer is likely going to involve themes around belonging, nourishment, home, memory, emotional safety, and inner stability. Especially after this past week's Sun Saturn square, Neptune retrograde, Venus entering Virgo, and the Sun Mercury conjunction, this new moon is offering us all a chance to begin again from the greater emotional clarity that some of those shakeups may have provided. So it's not necessarily a dramatic fresh start, but it can serve as a quiet recalibration. What is it that supports the person that you're becoming? Really, truly. What environments, what relationships, what rhythms and commitments actually nourish your next chapter? Yes, July's larger theme is about authentic expression, but I think Cancer season within that and this Cancer new moon, especially, is serving to remind us that expression becomes sustainable when it's rooted in our own emotional, lived, experienced truth. Now we have on Wednesday, the 15th, Uranus in Gemini making a sextile to Neptune in Aries. And I think this might be a subtle aspect because it is the outer planets, but it's still an important current that I think will begin shaping the week. Uranus and Gemini could bring some new ideas, information, communication, technology, or fresh perspectives in general, while Neptune retrograding through Aries is turning our vision inward and asking us what inspiration is truly guiding us in our actions. So their sextile here kind of opens up a channel, creates an opportunity for innovation and more reflective imagination to have a play date, if you will. It's not necessarily loud, and I'm certain it's probably not going to bring anything immediate. It could be as simple as a new idea, a meaningful conversation, a sudden intuitive connection, or a clearer sense of what wants to emerge in life next. Even if that doesn't mean the emergence itself, there's that like, aha, potential. So, in the overarching arc of the month, I think, especially coming right after the new moon, this is really helping to expand the story beyond personal emotions and value, because it's not just about our individual confidence. It's also about learning how our ideas and our inspiration can participate in a changing world. And that's what these generational planets kind of weave in, and why I think they're important to still mention, even if they are having more subtle effects. All right, so moving on. Whoops, sorry, pushing buttons. Struggling. My poor computer doesn't know what I want from it, I guess. I'm just going to make sure I've got the right dates here so I don't misspeak. Yes, so Saturday, July 18th, we've got a bit of a break. So that'll be nice for Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday, we'll have Uranus in Gemini trining Pluto in Aquarius. And so automatically we've got this harmonious water trine energy. And it's not just another major background alignment. These outer planets can serve and inform us as much as we allow them to. So just because they're not personal planets doesn't mean that they can't affect us personally. Uranus and Pluto in specific both speak to transformation, but in different ways. Where Uranus awakens, Pluto is deepening, transforming, and revealing underlying power structures. Meanwhile, Uranus is more than happy to just like actively disrupt and innovate. So the energies are different, but they kind of serve the same type of purpose. And then here in these air signs of Gemini and Aquarius, excuse me, I said water trine earlier, they are making an air trine. This is emphasizing collective thought, communication, technology, the larger systems, and even social change at large. Now, individually, this can really help us to understand how our own ideas fit into the larger cultural moment. And I suspect that maybe if we're paying attention, what feels like private insights might actually start to connect to something broader for us. And this is one of the week's strongest reminders that our authentic expression is not isolated self display. It's meaningful when it's contributing to larger conversations and collective evolution, right? Now, to close out the week on Sunday, the 19th, we will have Mars in Gemini sextiling Saturn in Aries. And it's interesting that the week ends with kind of a structured, more disciplined, and constructive energy. Mars in Gemini is wanting us to act through connection, communication, maybe some learning, adaptation, and planning. Whereas Saturn in Aries is bringing in maturity, responsibility, some focused initiative, maybe asking for some discipline or devotion. So, this sextile, it could help us to organize the week's insights into something practical and maybe bring those new moon intentions into play even before next week's first quarter moon. So, after all of that energy and these outer planet alignments asking us to kind of take a broader perspective, I think Mars and Saturn are coming in to ask us, what is the next responsible step? And it's also great astrology if we do need to do any planning, outlining, if there's any decisions that need to be finalized, if we need to commit to something, if we are refining a strategy, not to rush the process to make it fit into some kind of timeline and get done by that Sunday, but it can help to give all of this movement a spine. It can help to start organize it and refine it for us. So as July's story continues moving towards Leo season, I think this aspect is here to remind us that this authentic participation that's being asked of us will likely require as much discipline as it does inspiration. Now, if you're curious, I have so many resources on my website. You can find all of that for free at onessence.com. There's also my workbooks and my membership there, of course, but I am never gatekeeping anything. So check it out if you do need any more support. That's onessence.com. Now, I do think this week is marking a meaningful shift in July's larger story arc. And that as we strengthened the emotional foundations last week, it helped us to open up the road this week. And this new moon that we had, or that we will have tomorrow, I guess, the moon we have this week, renewing our emotional clarity, while these outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are all connecting our personal growth to this wider lens and these patterns of imagination, innovation, and transformation that are truly